Welcome. In this video I'll show you how to replace just the glass of a Galaxy S3 phone. You'll save a lot of money in the process, and the nice thing is that if you screw it up you can still go to the store. This video is only for the blue, brown and grey version of the phone. If you have a black, white or red version of the phone, then click the link to the other video. Okay, so this is what you'll need. I use a heat gun to warm up the glass, but a normal hairdryer will do just fine. Some tape, at least 2 of these microfiber cloths. This is a 2mm double-sided tape. If you don't have any, then you can cut a bigger piece into the right size. It's essential for a good repair. Some 89% ethanol to clean the touchscreen. And I recommend getting a pre-cut piece of double-sided tape to replace the original tape of your phone. It's not absolutely necessary, but it will produce a better result. Replacement glass, you can easily get this online. And I'll be using the Isesamo as a prying tool. You can also use a flat knife. This is an essential tool that will be used throughout the whole video. Some scissors. This plastic tool is part of the tool sets that are commonly sold along with the glass. If you don't have it, then find something similarly shaped. And lastly, I'll use some plastic razor blades, but you can also use guitar picks or a credit card. Okay, let's get started. I suggest that you use some duct tape to pin down the back cover of your phone to your working space. This will allow you to use both hands during the repair. It's not really shown well in the video, so I apologize for that. Now, before you mount the phone, don't forget to take out the battery, the SD card, and the SIM card. Okay, so I'm using my heat gun at about 180 degrees, but that's not really the temperature that we're looking to heat the phone to. We're looking to reach about 80 degrees. So that would feel roughly like a freshly poured cup of tea would. So let's start heating the top of the glass and then use your finger to feel if you're in the right ballpark. Now the temperature isn't that important. If it's too hot, then you risk damage to the phone. And if it's not hot enough, then the glass will simply not come off so easily. But between any of those two extremes, you're probably okay. Okay, so let's start separating the glass. I use this Isesamo, but again, a flat knife will do just fine. So let's start separating on the left side of the speaker, and use your tool to get underneath the glass, but don't go too deep. If you feel too much resistance, then you're probably too deep and you're prying off the double-sided tape underneath the glass. Now you should be able to see your tool passing over the sensor. If the separation isn't going easy enough, then just apply some extra heat. Now, if you're not seeing the kind of separation that I'm showing you in the video, if you are lifting the glass, then you're probably prying off the touchscreen as well. Now, if you notice this, then stop immediately and check if the phone is still working. So work down about 1 inch along the side and apply a slight amount of upward pressure. Try to separate the whole left corner. Okay, so place a plastic razor blade or credit card or guitar pick underneath the left corner to hold it up. Okay, let's start heating the other corner. And again, use your fingers to feel if the temperature is right. And then use your prying tool to separate that corner in the same way. Work down about an inch along the side and apply a slight amount of upward pressure. Now, if you feel like you separated enough, then just again use a guitar pick or credit card or plastic razor blade and stick it underneath. Okay, let's start separating the double-sided tape underneath the Samsung sign. Use your prying tool to pass above the speaker and then separate that double-sided tape to completely separate the top of the phone. We're starting soon. Now let's use the plastic lifting tool and place it inside the speaker cavity of the glass. Then just remove the plastic pieces you used to hold up the corner. And then let's heat the sides and separate them one by one. Okay. Now separate about 2/3 of the length. Now let's do the other side. And then let's heat the middle. Then use the plastic lifting tool to apply upward pressure and separate about 2/3 of the glass. Then apply heat to the bottom part of the phone. And separate both sides. And then use the lifting tool to completely separate the glass. Now, before you lift up the glass, use your prying tool to separate the bottom edge and corners of the glass. Now, make sure you only move your tool underneath the edges of the glass about 2 millimeters in, and don't move your tool underneath the buttons. This could damage the button cable or flex cable, and it's insanely hard to replace. Doing this is actually essential to saving the original double-sided tape of your phone, though if you have a replacement, then I suggest you use it. Now, before you continue, make sure that your prying tool is completely clean. Use a piece of cloth to remove any glue residue that might be on there. Then apply some extra heat to the buttons if necessary. Now lift up your glass to a 90-degree angle and use your prying tool to remove the buttons from the glass. Now, they're actually sticking to the glass with double-sided tape. Now do this very carefully as they're easily damaged. And then just remove the glass completely. Okay, so once we've removed the old glass, we can start cleaning the screen. Just use your finger to roll off any glue residue, but try to roll it over the screen as little as you can, because it will leave residue on the screen that makes it harder to clean the screen after. Okay, I'm going to remove the original double-sided tape now. So just use your prying tool and kind of pull it off. Now make sure you don't pull off the flex cable with it. Now if you have a replacement piece of pre-cut double-sided tape, then I suggest you use it. If you don't have it, then try to clean the original tape as well as you can. So remove any glue residue and make sure it's leveled. I kind of pulled off the speaker here, so I'll place it back. It doesn't really matter much. Okay, so I'm using regular tape to clean the phone. I'm trying to remove any particles, any pieces of glue, to make sure that the new pre-cut double-sided tape that I'll place later is completely leveled and able to stick well to the phone. So just combine this with some, with using your finger a bit, and eventually you'll be able to clean the phone completely. Okay, now don't remove this glue over here, just above the home button. I'll clean it a bit, but I won't remove it because it will prevent dust particles from getting under the new glass later on. Now some phones will contain a lot of dust underneath the home button and flex cable. So if that's the case, you can remove the home button and clean the area underneath using tape. You can also use tape to clean the flex cable, but make sure that you do this very carefully. Again, as replacing the flex cable is incredibly hard, you might as well just buy a new LCD unit. Now when you're finished, you can place back the home button using your prying tool. So now I will use the 2mm double-sided tape to pin down the flex cable. This will make placing the new glass much easier. So cut a piece according to the length of the thin part of the flex cable and apply it carefully. And cut off the excess. Don't cut the flex cable, I did that once. Alright, and then remove the protection. And then pin down the flex cable just above the home button. And you sort of fix it using your prying tool. So the double-sided tape on the left button is kind of misplaced. It's folded. So I will remove it, otherwise the new glass won't be leveled. So carefully remove it. This is actually one of the easiest ways to damage, ruin the flex cable. So be very careful here. Okay, now we can start cleaning the screen with ethanol. Make sure that there are no loose pieces of glue on the screen before you start rubbing it. Fold your microfiber cloth twice to create a sharp 90-degree angle. Apply some ethanol and start rubbing the screen in straight movements. If you're reusing the original double-sided tape, then avoid touching it with ethanol, as it will remove the sticky layer of the tape. Now you can also protect it with some regular tape. Okay, now we can apply the new pre-cut double-sided tape. So remove the clear layer of plastic and use the speaker hole to align it. Make sure there's an even border around the front camera and the sensors, then the tape is properly aligned. Use your nail to fix it to the phone a bit. And when you're finished, you can remove the blue protective layer. Now use your prying tool to fix the double-sided tape layer to the phone. The reason for this is that if you have to remove the new glass again, because maybe you missed some dust or the phone doesn't work properly, then you want this pre-cut piece of tape to stick to the phone and not to your new glass. Now we will apply some extra double-sided tape along the sides with about 2 centimeters to spare at the top and bottom. This will make sure that while operating the phone, the new glass won't be pressed against the touchscreen. This may short-circuit the touchscreen. Now make sure that you leave about 1.5 millimeters of black border surrounding the LCD free. Otherwise, the tape will show underneath the new glass. Cut off the excess. And do the same on the other side. Now we will also place some double-sided tape on the top half of the thin part of the flex cable. This will prevent dust from getting on the new glass. Now remove the protective layer from the double-sided tape. And then use your prying tool to fix the double-sided tape to the phone. For the same reasons as we would fix the pre-cut double-sided tape to the phone, as to prevent it from sticking to the new glass in case you would have to remove it. So do the same for all the other pieces you applied. Now, you may notice some dust particles sticking out of the double-sided tape, and these would show up under the new glass. So to prevent this, kind of use your prying tool to push them back. Again, this is to make sure that at least 1.5 millimeters of black border surrounding the LCD is completely free of anything. Okay, now in case there is a small piece of glue inside the camera cavity or blocking any of the sensors, and I'll show you an easy way to remove these. So use some regular tape and kind of push that tape inside the cavity and then remove it. Okay, now use a clean and dry microfiber cloth to give the screen a final rub. Remove any pieces of dust or stains of oil or fat. Okay, so take your replacement glass and remove the plastic coating. Now it's important to know that some of these replacement glasses, especially the blue, gray and brown ones that you'll be using if you're watching this version of the video, they will have an extra plastic coating on the back. So don't forget to remove this layer as it will make your screen seem rather dull. Okay, now use your home button to align the new glass, but don't drop it down yet. Instead, take the lifting tool and place it on top of the speaker and rest the glass upon it. Okay, now use some extra light to reveal smudges and dust underneath and on top of the new glass. And now wiping the top of the new glass with your microfiber cloth will allow you to identify dust and smudges on the bottom of the glass. So once you've identified those, you can kind of lift up the glass and try to remove them. Okay, now check the camera cavities and sensors and make sure that they're clear. Remove any dust particles underneath the glass. And if you're happy, then you can slowly drop down the new glass. Now slowly press down the new glass and kind of use your nail to fix the glass to the phone. Now do this a few times. Okay, now apply some extra heat and then again fix the glass to the phone if you open it. Now this will truly fix the new glass to the phone. Okay, so this is it. Now for the moment of truth. Yeah, place everything back. And it works.